You know, with all the digital music that we have on our computers now, I do get a lot of viewers ask me, how can I share that music into the different rooms of my home? Well, there are solutions out there, but typically they can run into the tens of thousands of dollars once the dust clears. I did a bit of research back a year ago and wanted to find something that was more cost-effective yet still give me the power and flexibility of being able to access all of my music. Came across a system called Sonos, and they're a company out of California, and they've got what are called zone players and Sonos controllers. And essentially, if you can think of it like this, it's almost like having an iPod for your house. You can see right now I've got the controller in my hand. Nice, beautiful color screen. It's got the scroll wheel, very much like an Apple iPod. And literally, this thing can control the music in every single room of my house, as long as I've got a zone player in that particular room. How it basically works is there's two different types of zone players. If you've already got an existing stereo and you just want to hook up to that and use its speakers, you can get one of the smaller zone players. These ones are unpowered or unamplified. And basically you can see on the back there you can either plug in digitally, you know, with the optical cables, or just the regular RCA cables. And I've got something like this in the living room right now, just through a little RCA stereo, and I can pump the sound in there and again control it from my zone player controller. If you've already got speakers in the wall, in my family room here I've actually got wired-in speakers into the home theater system. I can also run that through to this here. This is the big granddaddy, and not only can I do the analog stuff and run it through an amplified stereo, I can also wire in speakers directly to this. So if I wanted to get something out on the patio, or if I've already got something wired into the home, I just run the speaker wires into these little posts here. Again, it's got all the regular inputs, and it's got a 4-port hub on the back. What makes this unique though is how easy it is to set up. Essentially, all of these zone players, they're wireless, and they run on their own wireless network. You don't have to have a wireless network going in the house. As long as one of these zone players is hooked into your network hub, and most people have these in their home networks now, it'll automatically recognize all the other zone players in the house and configure itself. You do have to load some software onto one of the computers, but once that's done, you can control everything, like I said, from this particular little controller. And I'll just give you some examples here. You can hit the zones button, and here it shows me the different zone menus that I have in the house. I've got something in the kitchen, living room, patio. Don't have the bedroom on here, but I'll have to turn that one on again. And if I want to play some stuff in the living room, for example, I can go and I select that. Again, very much like an iPod. And right now you can see there's something playing. I've got David Gray playing in there. It actually gives me the cover art for the album. But I can go into my music menu now. And I've got a number of different options down here. I've got my music library. We'll go into there in a second. I have my Sonos playlists, ones that I've already created. I even got internet radio stations, which is kind of cool because there's literally hundreds, if not thousands, of internet radio stations out there right now. It comes pre-programmed with a bunch, but through the computer program that's loaded onto your desktop, you can actually add additional ones. So it's pretty easy to do that. Another feature that I really appreciated was the line-in sources. A lot of times you'll have a home theater and you've got your DVD player hooked up to that. Maybe you're running a concert DVD in the family room, but you want that concert DVD music to go to other rooms, maybe out on the patio or maybe up to the living room. You can actually select it here and then pump the sound from that into those other rooms, whatever room you want, literally. So let's go up to the music library just to show you how you select music. You can select all different ways: artists, albums, tracks, genres, and even imported playlists. And that's what I found pretty powerful with the software that you load onto the desktop computer. No matter what kind of playlist you have, whether that's in iTunes, typically the software that iPods use, or Windows Media Player, it'll automatically find those and put them into the whole Sonos system so you can actually play all of those playlists as well. So what I do now is I go up to artists, and I'm a big U2 fan, and I can select that. And I'm going to go down to this album. And here's all the tracks. If I want to, I can add all the tracks to the current queue or playlist that I'm creating, or I can select individual ones. I like Beautiful Day, for example. Next menu that comes up, I can play it now, I can play it next song, or I can add it to the end of the queue. I can't tell you how much fun these things are at parties. You don't have to worry about programming the music in anymore. You just give this to the guests, and they actually program much like a jukebox. So you've got music playing all night, and then the guests feel kind of involved with the whole music selection. Anyway, I'll put it to the end of the queue. And then from there, you can actually view the queue here. I've got a whole bunch of songs in here already, and I can keep adding and adding. And if I really like that particular playlist I've created here, I can then save it as well, and it saves it onto the system. All in all, from all the different types of systems that I have checked out on the market right now, this is probably one of the most powerful ones at its price point. Typically for like a 3-unit thing here with 2 players and a controller, it's in the $1,000 to $1,200 range. And again, comparing that to other solutions out there, I mean, it is pretty much cheaper than a lot of those ones that are in the tens of thousands of dollars. Check out their website. They've got a lot of great information up there, sonos.com, and see if this is something that might work in your home.